Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. It is always great to see you. Happy 4th of July to those that are in these states. I hope you have plans to get together with family and friends, enjoy some food, fun, and some fireworks. This is the glam portion that's tacked on to the glam and gore. I know not everyone wants glam and gore paired. This is a great 4th of July look just for makeup alone, so get ready with me and let's get into it. To start, I'm using a face primer because I like all the texture of my skin to be even. Going in with an eyeshadow primer because it will lock the eyeshadow down and it also helps with blending. I lock that in with some powder. Begin to tame those eyebrows with a gel that keeps them in place all day. Going in with some scotch tape, placing that on the back of my hand first. I then put that as a guideline on each side of my eye. Doing this will give you that very clean, sharp edge. Going in with some red eyeshadow, I buff that into the transition on each eye, taking time to make sure that it is saturated and even. And you'll notice that when I hold my brush, I hold it toward the end of the brush. That's a good technique for that sweeping and blending motion. If you ever have a problem with getting too much product, this will even it out a little bit more. But once I dip my brush into the product, I tap it out so I lose some of the saturation. That's why I have to go in several times and going in with this blue. And I will list the palettes that I use. And if you don't know by now, my favorite cosmetic company is Colourpop up out of California. Affordable, high quality products. I continue to blend the transition crease until I no longer have a line, and going in with my finger to pick up the shimmer, I pop that onto the lid. I like to use my finger because the oil in the skin really picks up a foil, and I wanted that to be the center of the eye, and I continue to buff that color into the tape for that high transition and that sharp edge. Going in with a white waterliner, I go from the inner corner, sweeping it all the way out to the tape for that little wing. I prefer to use waterliners because they're easy to clean up with something as simple as a Q-tip and a little bit of water. Before I blink or close my eye, I make sure that it is dry. Going into the other side, you just gotta go for it, and if you remember to make them look like sisters and not twins, you'll be more confident. And if you find that your hand is becoming shaky, you'll notice that I put my pinky finger onto my face for stability. Now is the moment of truth, going in and removing that tape and that wonderful edge that you get. It's just so satisfying. I go in with my favorite foundation. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid foundation from Colourpop, and I'm using a dampened blender. I prefer the beauty blender because it allows me to move products and press that into textures around my face like some fine pores, and it just helps eliminate those. And going in with a brush that is packed with a thinner bristle, I go in and place the red up underneath. Be careful about red because it can make you look sick, so make sure that that line is thin and it connects to the wing. And I go in with a gel cream white eyeliner. For the inner corner, I picked a silver for more of a pop from the Blowin Smoke palette, and I pop that into the corner using my finger. For contouring, I'm using my very well-loved contour palette, going over the forehead, carving out the cheekbones, and going up underneath the chin. I take a small little brush, and I contour my nose, going from the inner corner of the brow, down onto the bottom, and up under my lip for more definition. I highlight that I want to bring forward. For my blush, I'm using a more of a neutral tone, so all the emphasis is on the eyes and the lips for this look. I put color onto the apple and I push that up onto the contour, and I go ahead and curl my lashes. And for my mascara today, I'm using an Ulta Beauty mascara. I love this thing because there are 3 different settings in the wand. I'll link that into the description below. Now I do go in heavy with mascara because I don't like to apply mascara to my false eyelashes. And I will place glue on a brush and brush that glue onto the back of the eyelash, and I use the center of the eyelash. I put that down first, I push the corner in, and I get the outer corner settled. I am using my Marilyn Monroe highlighter, tip of the nose, bridge of the nose, onto the cupid's bow, and high onto that cheekbone. And I love this palette. It is like having crushed diamonds on your face. I get everything set with some powder. Using a blue waterliner, I go in and I outline my lips and get my cupid's bow a little bit more even. And I take my time, and I did slow this portion of the tutorial down so you get a realistic view about how long this actually takes. And every time I push a line into the lip, I make sure that it is dry with my little fan. I just did not want you guys to see it constantly throughout this process, but do not tap your lips together. And that's such a habit if you wear lipstick or lip gloss, is to tap those lips together once you have a layer. Do not do that. Make sure that it is dry. And if you're like me, if you have a ton of texture in your lip, after you get the lip drawn in, you will have to spread the lip out and go in and make sure you have painted all the little creases and the textures into your lip. If you're wondering about my nail polish today, it is a nail polish brand run by two sisters out of Australia called Picture Polish, and this color is called Forget Me Not. Using my white waterliners, I go back and forth on one side and to the other to make sure things are even, taking my time to make sure that I dry each layer that I put onto the lip. Be sure you get your coffee break, your snacks, and your drinks in before you start working with these, because they are waterliners, and once you actually sip anything that's not from a straw, it will bleed a little bit, but it does stay on a pretty good bit. I go in and I make sure I get my center line to keep things in check, and I continue to go back and forth between the red and the white. Be sure that each stripe is dry before you place another stripe in, and because white tends to be streaky, you may have to go in and tighten up and make lines opaque. How satisfying is that last line? I was so happy to be done, and it was so worth it to take my time. I go back in to straighten up lines to make sure everything is as even as I can get it. So what are some of your traditions for the 4th of July? Do you guys get together, fire up the grill, throw back some Colourpop? Do you go and watch some fireworks? Let me know in the comments below how you celebrate Independence Day. I decided I wanted a little star in this design, and once I get a rough shape, I go back in and I chisel that out to make sure it's opaque, and I wanted several. You see in this eyebrow race that once I realized how much time it was going to take, that I was going to have one star. Here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this get ready with me makeup tutorial. Please stay tuned because the fireworks gone wrong 3rd degree burn will be the portion of the gore part to this glam and gore. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please have a happy and safe 4th of July, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.